The irony of all of this is that I'm putting out my phone to record this after an emotional breakdown. I have been in and out of crying since 10 when I woke up this morning. It's almost 6 p.m. right now. And I've been oscillating between I am doomed, I'm fucked, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, like actually, and it's starting to catch up to me. It actually has caught up to me. I'm drowning, I'm sinking, I cannot come out of this. To, oh my God, use the pain, use the pain. Create something, use the pain. What the fuck? Like, what is wrong with artists? I've been thinking about this for quite some time. Like, and it's so, I don't know if it's my ADHD brain, and I'm not diagnosed with ADHD, by the way. I do want to put a disclaimer that this is purely self-diagnosis. But like, my thoughts happen so fast. Like just now, after I reached for the paper to write something about how in pain I feel, because it's like it starts to build up in your stomach. It's like in your it wants to come out so bad. Like you feel like you're experiencing motion sickness. It's almost like you're displaced from the world, displaced from your reality, and it has shaken you, like literally shaken you to the point where you want to throw up, and you're also like shitting your entire, like you're shitting your guts out. Like, I'm really sorry to be to be vulgar, but that's what anxiety feels like to me. Like it's physical. Like I shake, my voice shakes, like my eyes feel hot and concentrated, my nose clogs kind of, and like all the spit from my mouth comes out. Like it just, I'm instantly dry. It kind of feels like cotton mouth. And the fact that like in the peak of my anxiety emotional breakdown, I am thinking, oh my God, use this as art. What the fuck? And did I not get up and get a piece of paper and write, you did it all not knowing? I mean, it's sweet because I had this idea, this concept to write a poem to my future self, like a love poem to my future self. I think I really need a confidence boost right now. Like I'm a very low point in my life. Like it's shaking where I'm at right now. And I like actually don't know what's going on with my life. Like I don't even know about school. Like, and that's a big thing. And I mean, I don't want to get into it right now, but it's a very big, I'm very fearful of where I'm headed. And because of that, I'm also like, it's very hard for me to connect with my past self because I'm blaming her for all of it. I'm like, you chose wrong. You did all the wrong things in life. And in the midst of that thinking, dog, I'm thinking like, make art, like create something. And I started thinking like, why do artists think like this? And I don't want to put the blame on artists entirely. I think this is how artists fill into society. This is how people see us. That we do this because of some spiritual calling. And I wrote an academic essay for school last year about how patronizing that is actually. And if like we actually thought artists were these selfless people, we would be paying them like they are such. You see how we think doctors and engineers and such are like, oh my God, you're giving up your life and going into service. Like, you know what I mean? You're kind of just like doing it for the people. And like, we all know that's not actually why they go there, you know? And at least not all of them. I can confidently say not all of them go into it because of that. Like, they don't want to be of service necessarily to humanity. It can be egotistical, and that's not to say that's a bad thing. I do think, in fact, I would rather encourage, because this is to ensure good work is done, going into a career because you want to self-actualize. I mean, someone who's doing something because they think it's for them entirely, serving themselves, this is with the assumption that the person actually has a good relationship with themselves, in the sense that they will push for themselves, I mean to say. I mean, doing a job because of that ensures that the person is going to do it well because they want the points for it. So that, I mean, it's a little tricky if it's like a doctor and you're dealing with real life people. Like, it's one thing to think this way if you're an electrician. Like, no one else's feelings are involved here. And there's not much moral battle and dilemma there, I think. And then you get to health science, and it's like you are yes, it's your job, but you are helping people with their health. And these people come with like their hearts, like they're coming in with their humanity, and you also, there has to be a level of empathy there to help them, because if you're kind of just looking at them as subjects, you might not like respect them as people and actually be out it for their, like looking out for their best interest, and they're kind of becoming this like test subject for you, and you can give them like cocktails of medication just because you wanna test something else, like, it's, yeah, if it's purely scientific, and scientific, and in quotation marks I say, because science, I do believe, should embrace its humanity too. Like, we like to pretend that it's truth in its bleakness and existing outside of human emotion and its empirical research and its unbiased. And I think that comes back to bite us in the fucking ass, because that's not true. No research is unbiased. It doesn't matter how honestly you conduct it. You come into it with your pre-existing notions and ideas and your hypothesis, and you may be looking, the way that you're looking, the perspective that you look at it from affects your findings for that research. Therefore, that means that it's not unbiased, because your socioeconomic background, your ethnicity, your class, like down to your favorite fucking milkshake could like deter the end results of the experiment. You know what I mean? So it's not unbiased. And I think science it's not like, we need to stop looking at it like that. And it's even more like, if they actually cared to be unbiased the way that they want to be, they would disclose this beforehand. You know what I'm saying? And then it becomes even more true when you're like, hey, we're not trying to spread truth here. We're trying to spread a fight. Research should be about wanting to know more, not necessarily know more of the truth, just being curious. It's pure curiosity and theology. And I think we should be honest about that. But I digress. I'm like at the worst point in my life, and there's a part of me that's like, oh, this is your coming to yourself type story. Like, this is what you're gonna say at the fucking Oscars. Me. This is what you're gonna say at the Oscars. Like, you're gonna say, man, I remember the 16th of January. I was like looking for places to get student loans. I had 70,000 rands in arrears for school. I couldn't fucking register. LOL. But I made it through. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel bad for future me for not having the gumption. I don't know. For not having the strength, right? Like, not being able to draw to myself entirely and like make something from this. And because I am a creative that makes something from this, like translates into my creativity, I'm like, write something, make something, dude. But like, I feel like that is also running away from actually feeling my emotions, kind of. And that's the whole thing with creativity. It's weird. Like, it's weird. Like, Van Gogh used to fucking drink yellow paint to feel happy. Like, you get to a point where your body, your life, your real life, dude, becomes your canvas and poetry. Why am I needing to paint the insides of me yellow? Why, you know what I mean? Like, it's so deep and it's so fucking fucked up. And I've sat in the chair of like the tortured artist. And it's just, everyone around us too, like, affirms your authenticity and like real love for art if you're like bleeding for it, if you're sacrificing something for it. It has to be your whole life. It has to feed you, enrich you, which is so fucking pathetic. Like, that's not what's gonna fill the cupboard, dude. That's not what's gonna fill the fucking fridge, gonna turn the lights on, gonna get me from point A to point B. I still have to pay the fucking Uber in rands, in ZARs, bro. You know? Oh, that kind of rhymed. In ZARs, bro, you know? But yeah, it's really hard to remain optimistic as an artist when like there's also a fear of like, if I come out of this, I need to be sad again to create again. I think that's that's the message it sends out. I know with painters, there's a hierarchy in the genre of painting that you do. Like hyper realistic portrait people are frowned upon because like people are like, we don't want to see realism. I interact with the real world every day. And they fail to understand, I feel like, that reality is subjective and like that it's that artist's hyper realistic painting actually isn't unbiased journalism. You know what I mean? It's not taking a picture, even if it was photography, taking a picture of someone smiling. Like that, no one else could ever replicate that. And you shouldn't be made feel bad for being too simple. There's no such thing as being too simple. And that's also my annoyance with poetry, is that if it's not just chaos and destruction and decaying bodies, if you're Mihle Writes, I love to write about maggot infested mouths and skin melting off from being like, I just love that type of gore, because there's also a piece, like if you look, this sounds so fucked up, but if you look very closely, I feel like at a decomposing body, it's kind of beautiful. Like you're giving rise to fucking mushrooms, you know? Well, yeah. And there's like a whole new ecosystem that's born from your corpse. I think that's beautiful. The fact that even though you're not here, you're still giving life. I mean, your soul gave life to this body, and this body is giving life to other bodies, plural even this time around. Like that's so fucking cool. And there's also like a what about me sorrowness and loneliness in it, because it's like, then where am I? If I'm just this thing that's giving rise to something else, who am I? You know? Yeah, so that's why I like to write about decaying bodies. But we should be able to write about the best day of our lives. Like one of my favorite poems of all time, Wendy Cope, the one with the orange. I think it's called The Orange, but it's about finding a huge orange and sharing it amongst your friends, walking. I think it's so pure. Like you should check it out. Let me actually search. What is it called? Wendy Cope. At lunchtime, I bought a huge orange. The size of it made us all laugh. I peeled it and shared it with Robert and Dave. They got quarters and I got a half. And that orange, it made me so happy, as ordinary things often do just lately. The shopping, a walk in the park. This is peace and contentment. It's new. The rest of the day was quite easy. I did all the jobs on my list and enjoyed them and had some time over. I love you. I'm glad I exist. How beautiful is that? Even the sentence construction, it feels like a third grader wrote it. Gratification of the simplest things in life, and that's so pure. And I guess you could say, while saying, oh my god, so happy, that is sad, because it's like, that's all it took, bitch. Like it took an orange to make you happy. That's kind of fucking depressing. Like how sad must you be, you know? But like let's not think of it like that. Let's just think the orange, the thing that made you happy today. Yeah. And I think we need, I mean, I'm not any different. Like, I'm still continuing. The fact that when I'm sad, I'm like, use this for good. Because also it gets to a point where people are kind of just mass producing these, pretending to be authentic poems about their depression. I'm tired of hearing about the same things, dude. I'm tired. The example that just popped into my head is with lesbian sex. Like, I'm tired of the cinnamon tasting metaphor and honey, being a metaphor for cum. Like, I'm gonna need new things. And I think that's what it does. This like rigid, fixed idea that's projected onto artists makes us feel constrained. And this is not victim mentality. I am admitting to be actively participating in such, because here I am at my saddest fucking hour thinking, let me write. It's like, bitch, if you don't just chill for real. Like, I just think we all need to collectively fucking chill. And if your pain is not Van Gogh drinking yellow paint today, that is okay too. If your pain is just sitting there and hurting, that's because that is pain. And if no one said it, I'll be the one to say it. You're not any less of a creative because you're not depressed. You can write from a happy place. I hate that it's now all of a sudden become a rule to become qualified to even think of yourself as a creative. You must be going through a tough time. No, take your fucking meds, please. We have enough manic fucking... Basquiat is dead. Like, that's the other thing. It's like all these artists you're looking up to for being so radical and like not seeking I mean, Basquiat is a bad example because he had an addiction. But like, there's all sorts of context. But essentially what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't try and protect your sadness so that you can tap in and out of it. That's not healthy. And I'm very scared, and that's where we're going with the rhetoric that's going around. Like, I need people to know that and also it doesn't have to be like about, even when it's happy, guys, like even when the art is happy, if it's about love, it's about how it's fucking ripped your heart out. It's about how much of yourself you've bled into the person because you love them so much. I get it. Like, there's something painfully beautiful about tragedy. I get it. We find it in femininity too. I mean, I don't want to get into that. We definitely can. But I don't want to miss the point of what I'm trying to say here. Is that sometimes, like, and also, like, you don't, again, this could be a capitalism thing, but you don't all of a sudden deserve success because you've been through so much. You know what I mean? You're not trading in your tears for a check right now. Like, that's not how it should be. And don't feel pressured into having it be like that. And even worse, to all the creatives there that might be feeling insecure that they're not writing something that's sad enough. I'm here to say, like, please just write from the heart and write something true. Make things that are real and not a real that's trying so badly to be real. Please. Not what we did to be real. And I had to quickly, I did have to say this. Not what we did to be real, the app. No. We started fucking staging, like, we are all so fucking fucked up. Yeah. We're all a tortured artist in some way. Every single one of us. And it's okay if you are. And also, I do want to disclaimer, it's okay if you're a depressed artist writing from a depressed point of view. That's fine. Don't restrict that. I hate that it becomes a niche. I hate that it becomes like an aesthetic. It's not an aesthetic. It's real. It's real human emotion. Someone is living out this experience. It's not just something you're picking up and putting down because you've seen, like, you know what I mean? Why are we seeing it like that? It's taking away the seriousness. And for the artists that are writing from a depressed place, I hope you're writing and coming out of that. Or you've learned how to trigger yourself just enough to trigger yourself, but not to put yourself back into that place. It's not good. That's not productivity. I hate that we're made to think like that. It is capitalism's fault. It always goes back to capitalism. But guys, you don't have to fight so much. You shouldn't have to, at least. I should probably say. I understand sometimes even that inauthentic authenticity comes from hunger. You gotta feed your kids, man. Like, at the end of the day, you have to pay your tuition. And if it means you have to write, oh my God, I'm so fucking sad today 100 times, then okay, sharp. That's the way that things are going right now, and that's well and fair. And I can respect and understand that. But I'm talking on a global, don't contextualize, really. Because every experience is different. But I'm saying food for thought. Like, me telling you about my sadness and experiencing it is different. And I just want everyone to know that everyone else's tellings of that is not necessarily what happened. I could have just heard that saying, oh, I'm a hill burning at a distance, you know? Because I heard it somewhere. And I know it's what the market wants. It's what the Instagram people want to repost on their stories. Like, if these are the metaphors that I'm using, I know I'm going to get a job. And that's why, like, it's just the tortured artist epidemic phenomenon is crazy. That shit is crazy. You don't need to be tortured to be an artist. is my ending note, I think. Art is about self-expression. There are no restrictions in what you can create. If you've made something from something, then you're creative. You're innovative. And that's enough. You don't have to be tortured to do it. You don't have to run away from actually feeling your pain and rushing to the end of like appreciating what that pain pushed you to do and be thankful for where it got you in life. Like, you don't have to speed to the end and the finish line and get to appreciation stage. You first have to feel it, and it has to crush you, and then you come out of it. And you write about your puppy. I want to read poems about puppies. Sincerely, send them to me right now. I do want to see that. You can write about anything, and it doesn't have to be a poem. It can be a short story. It can be free form, free verse, however long you want. Just be creative. Think outside of the box. Push yourself. That's what a creative is, essentially. So that's my 2-piece. I will be carrying on with my poem that I've started. Yes, I will be exploiting my sadness still while saying this, because at the end of the day, like, as much as we can talk about it, if you want to make money from this, there's a right way to be a creative. You can't be a creative. You can't be pushing way too many boundaries. You must push the ones that we've said are okay to push. And that is capitalism for you. Yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to blame it on capitalism. Capitalism's whole shtick is like exploitation of self. It's like, you have to dissolve yourself, disintegrate yourself, and disperse right into the mouth of capitalism. Do it so that you can have access to healthcare. Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's crazy out there. Anyways, be well and be safe. Take care. Happy New Year. I'm kind of experimenting with this format. At first, I wanted to do like sit down recording videos, but I'm like actually beat to a fucking pulp with my situation complex right now, and it's kind of hard to do anything. Even this was kind of hard, but like just pressing record and speaking with my voice, it felt less hard. And there was a burning, like, I had a sensation. I was like, oh my god, I gotta get this out. I gotta tell the children. I gotta let the children know. Yeah, but that's my rant. Be safe, be well. I love you all, Slam Pam. And I will see you or hear you in the next one. Yeah. Bye.